What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you're ready for another week. I am here to get you ready for another week of MLB The Show, of course, with the 10 Minute Mailbag, everybody's favorite segment where I go through the YouTube comments of the previous week's video and I answer your questions in depth. This video series has become a community favorite, one of my favorites to put together as well, so get in on the action. What are you waiting for? Make sure you leave a comment down below if you've got a question you'd like me to answer next week. It could be about anything. It could be about lineup building, battle royale tips like you'll see today, settings, anything. Favorite cards, just you name it, you can ask it. And of course, if you like this video, subscribe, because it helps me and it makes me smile, and you'll pull my trout if you subscribe. That is not a guarantee. kdjTV legal. They sit right over there in my office. They told me to say that. It's not a guarantee. As always, ladies and gents, thank you for being here for another week. I'm going to put 10 minutes on the diggity-dang clock. I'm going to get to your questions. So in 3, 2, 1, begin our first question today. Not tomorrow, today. Comes from Gage Turner. Which new legend has the best swing? It's got to be the new Henry Aaron, which I don't know if that's a new swing or not, or Buck Leonard. I start first with my disgusting Yankee fandom, Paul O'Neill. I have 1 of 1 Superfractor Paul O'Neill. I did it. My first ever 1 of 1. His swing is actually like significantly faster than a lot of other people's swings. It's electric. The problem with his quick swing on this card is that he doesn't generate a lot of power because he doesn't have a lot of power. But if you give me like a 100s power Paul O'Neill with that quick of a swing, he's going to do damage. I'm excited for the 99. I don't know if he's the best new swing, but he's certainly in the conversation, and we'd be remiss not to talk about him. But I want to take you here to a lot of the new swings. Honestly, a lot of the new swings are good. Richie Sexton's is good. Beltre's is good. Josh Gibson, very nice swing. But my 2 candidates for best new swing in this game, Buck Leonard. If you haven't used him yet, use him. If you throw him a 4-seamer, I know he's got dead red, and I know they, in the storylines, just called him maybe the best fastball hitter of all time. But if you throw him a fastball, they weren't lying. You can kiss it friggin' goodbye. His swing is so good. So good. I am so excited to see what a 99 of his looks like, because it's going to be highly sought after. And there are going to be tons of people in the comments on the internet who don't like this statement, and truthfully, I don't care. Toni Stone's swing is really good. I'm hitting 433 with her. 30 ABs, I've hit 4 bombs. She hits tanks. Her high contacts plus decent power, and the fact that her swing is just really good, it all adds up to like a really valuable card. I wish I wasn't trying to complete live series collections right now, because I would go buy her and she'd be my second baseman. Her swing is really good, guys. Inside pitches, something about the way she stands and the way her bat path comes through the zone. Inside pitches, she cranks. Toni Stone's really good. Don't sleep on that card. And the last player I want to talk about, I just unlocked. You've probably used the 85 Rafael Palmeiro from the starter program. Rafael Palmeiro in general has a really nice swing. It's the type of swing I hoped he'd have, so I'm excited about that. I still haven't gotten a ton of reps with this 95. It's the same swing as the 85, of course, but he's fun. So Rafael Palmeiro is also very good, and if you haven't tried him, you should use him. So Gage, thank you for your question. I know I didn't really give one definitive answer, but I gave you a bunch, so I hope that's okay. Cyrus Gomez. What's up, Cyrus? I have a question for next week. What is the XP cap you can earn a day? I just grinded 30k XP, and now it says I have to wait 10 hours until I can start earning XP again for the reward path. I'm pretty sure 30k is the XP cap, and it feels a little low. The XP cap, for those of you guys who don't know, though I'm sure most of you do because it's been a pretty popular talking point in the community, is the amount of XP SDS lets you earn from gameplay in a day. If you go through some sort of like BR program and get XP through that, you'll still get that XP. That XP counts. But it's gameplay XP. In my humblest of opinions, I think it's too low. Or it just needs to be calibrated differently. I understand why there's an XP cap, because with the way the power creep is now operating, which in my opinion has been a ton of fun to actually like make lineup decisions again, but that's a different question for a different day. with the way the power creep is working, SDS wants to limit people from getting the high-powered 99s or too many of them too soon, because then it kind of throws the game's balance out of whack. And this first season is going to be kind of like a trial by fire for how long it actually takes people to get the 99s. And if it becomes like annoyingly long or maybe still even too fast, even though it feels slow, it might end up being too fast. I don't know. I think the XP cap needs to be raised. I think it's too low as we stand right now. I don't know what the correct answer is. Maybe it's just adding like another 10K to it. 40K is a lot different than 30K. I'm hoping maybe in one of the next patches, because there will be a patch at some point soon. They don't wait that long early on to do patches. That it addresses that, the XP cap, among various other things, like the two-way player glitch that they fixed last year but forgot to fix in the code at the start of this year, so that's back. That's a problem. Hopefully they lessen the, like, what's it called? Like the B-roll noises in stadiums, like the whooshing sound and the birds chirping and all that nonsense. That's way too loud. But the XP cap is controversial. I think it'll end up being a good thing in the long run, as long as they tinker with it and tweak it just a little bit. So, Cyrus, I hope that answers your question, and I gave you a little extra opinion on that, too. 2 more questions. It looks like we're about halfway through. Midfield Media. How you doing, Midfield? How do I access that menu on PS5 to edit these settings? This is in reference to last week's video, where I told you guys all about my favorite DualSense Edge settings. So, first things first, I want to make it obvious, just in case it wasn't. To change the settings that you saw me change last week, you have to have a DualSense Edge controller. It's not just your standard PlayStation controller. Just wanted to make that abundantly clear. But I can show you. So you're going to go to the PlayStation home screen. Note the home screen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's working. You're going to go to the settings toggle at the top. You are going to go to accessories. It's right under screen and video. Click on accessories. General. Now here's your normal controller, but I have a DualSense Edge wireless plugged in, even though it's plugged in, not wireless. We're going to click on that, and we're going to click on custom profiles. And from custom profiles, you can then choose, I mean, they're not default called hitting and pitching. I've named them hitting and pitching. You can click on either of them. You go to your stick sensitivity and whatnot, and you start twerking around. So I hope that helps you. Again, there are a lot of customization options you can do with the DualSense Edge. I have barely even scratched the surface with what I'm doing with mine, I'm sure. People who play other games like COD and Fortnite, if you are not a CPU gamer or PC gamer, if you are a console guy, I'm sure there are a million other ways you could use this controller. MLB The Show probably barely uses this to the potential it has, but that is how you make those changes. If you don't have a DualSense Edge, I think I said this last week, I want to reiterate it. It is not an essential tool for this game. It's not. It just simply isn't. I've found that it does help me a little bit with being more precise with my PCI. The pitching, it literally doesn't help me with because I have my pitching settings set to default controller. It's like I picked up a normal one out of the package. But it's up to you. If you have the extra money and you want to splurge or you want to ask it for a gift or something, give it a try. Another question from Mayo Boy Gaming. Fun fact, I don't like mayonnaise, but I like you. You're fine. What is the best way to go flawless in BR? This is a whole video on its own, and it could be, and it might be at some point soon. I did go flawless last week. Since the last time we spoke, that helped me finish my live series, American League collection anyway. I didn't finish the whole thing yet, but just the AL. There are so many tips into going flawless, but here are a couple things I'll say off rip in these last 2-ish minutes. Number 1, pick the swings you like. Don't worry necessarily about a player's attribute to attribute comparison. If you love Patrick Wisdom's swing, that's a random example, but if you love Patrick Wisdom's swing and you currently have a third baseman etched into the lineup who is better attribute wise, but you don't like his swing, don't use that card. Use Patrick Wisdom. BR is such a comfortability thing because you only have X number of usually only have 1 or 2 at-bats per player per game. Got to make sure you're comfortable and that you're capitalizing with swings that you like. Secondly, draft very intentionally. Don't take rounds off. If you see 4 commons on your screen, you're like, we'll just burn one on a starting pitcher. Don't just pick the first one you see. Give a look at them. One of them might have a sinker. One of them might have 95 velo. One of them might have something that's actually semi-viable that you can use that player in certain situations. I pitch with common pitchers sometimes, and it works if you use them in the right scenarios. On that same note, talking about pitchers, always have warmed up pitchers in the bullpen. I remember as best I can, sometimes I forget, but I like to warm up pitchers at the beginning of every single game. Before I throw a pitch or take a swing, I go to the bullpen, I warm up one lefty, one righty. Always have 3 lefties in your bullpen. Usually you only need 2, but it's nice to have that third, just in case there's a weird late game scenario in which you got to swap back and forth, or if there's extra innings or something like that. And the final bit of advice I can give you, because this is the speed running version of BR advice. Be patient at the plate. I'm not saying take the first 3 pitches of an at-bat. I'm saying sit 1 pitch, 1 spot. If you get it on the first pitch of the at-bat, crush it. If you don't get it, don't swing at it. I like to sit low and away sinkers with a lefty batter. If the first pitch is an up and in fastball for a strike, I'm not swinging at it, even though it's a strike. I am waiting for that low and away sinker. If I get it, I crush it. When we get to 2 strike scenarios, we get a little pickier, or we get a little less picky rather, excuse me, foul some stuff off. And the better you get at doing that in BR, the better you'll get at doing that in ranked and events. It'll just trickle into the rest of Diamond Dynasty for you, and it's going to help you out in the long run. That is going to do it for this week's 10-minute mailbag. I never thought I'd speedrun BR advice like that, but it might be helpful for somebody. There will be another BR video at some point in the future, probably the near future. I want to get the hang of BR a little more. I want to get a couple more flawless runs under my belt. I want the 2-way stamina glitch to go away, because that's killing BR right now. But there will be another BR video at some point, I promise. And on that note, I'm going to go record this week's podcast. Comes out on Tuesdays every single week. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you are ready for that. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I love you all so much. I'll see you next time.